250 people injured at least and 34 dead. Happening right now, Belgian police are in a desperate hunt for the third ISIS bomber that you see here in this surveillance picture. Investigators now zeroing in on clues from this surveillance image as they try to identify the man in white with a hat pulled down over his face. The homicide bombers in black, now identified as brothers. So who are these individuals? Not only the men, but the enemies behind the terror attacks. Here to weigh in on that is the founder and president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy and former U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It's good to be with you, Heather. Thank you.
ISIS has claimed responsibility for these deadly attacks that happened in Brussels. How significant will it be or helpful to find this third individual from the surveillance photo that they're looking for and be able to capture him alive?
Well, I think it's very significant because it's not only, remember, this isn't anymore what we prove now with this attack is that it's not just about a single cell. This cell attacked us twice. Why? Because the harboring organism, the community, the ideology that protected this enemy combatant, this perpetrator of terrorism is the bigger problem. They were able to hide out from the entire security apparatus in the EU for 4 months because it wasn't just the cell, it was the harboring organism. So no longer is it just about card-carrying Al-Qaeda or card-carrying ISIS. It's about an inspirational movement that's protected by neighborhoods and communities that have an ideology. Just like the San Bernardino shooters, they were trained, Malik was trained in a school, Al-Huda, which is Salafi, jihadi. We should be looking into the harboring ideologies of these communities.
Dr. Jasser, on that point, there was a list of individuals, 80 or 85 of them, I think, the Belgian authorities put together. These individuals had links to terrorism. So the Belgian authorities gave them to the mayor of Molenbeek specifically to be on the lookout for these individuals, 3 of which were involved in the Paris attacks. One of which was Salah Abdeslam, who was discovered on Friday and found right down the street from where he lived, within eyeshot of the town hall. How did that happen? You mentioned the 4 months. How was he able to hide in plain sight for 4 months?
Well, because the imams, the teachers, the radicalized community there looks upon the West as the enemy. They divide the world into Dar al-Islam, the land of Islam, and the land of war. So to them, the conspiracy theories, the anti-Semitism, the hate of the very secular society they live in is fueling the ideology I mean, look at bin Laden was protected in Pakistan, our ally, for how long? And so this guy, Abdeslam, when he was picked up, was being cheered as a hero by some of those who were protecting him. So this is a state of war in which you have communities thought to be Belgian are actually insurgencies that don't like their community. And ultimately, this is not about most Muslims. Most Muslims there would have turned them in, but the communities were shielding them, neighborhoods, families, etc. And we need to penetrate those, not by the mayor, but by Muslim organizations that are transparent and ready to take on the ideas that are radicalizing them from within the community. I mean, Heather, there's an organization there called Sharia for Belgium that operates freely. I'm not saying to shut them down, but at least expose them and get Muslims to target their ideology with, like what we're starting here in the West, which is the Muslim reform movement in Canada and Europe and America that we just don't get enough push from the Homeland Security apparatus for.
Yeah, all important points as they search for this other suspect in that surveillance picture, because it will definitely come into play. Thank you so much, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
We'll check back with you later.
Thanks, Heather.